Now let's start the show. Step ain't all the code. We come from the to the top of the globe.
Hey guys, what up? It's your boy DBK, and welcome to my new series, Behind the Rapper. A series that basically looks and interviews people who are involved in the battle scene and who are trying to get themselves started up as rappers. And it's basically just getting a bit of information before you know. So yeah, enjoy these interviews. The one that I've got for you today is with Respek BA, Jumpoff Legend, battle rap in the UK legend, at least for me. And you know, it was an amazing honor to be able to interview this guy. So yeah, enjoy this one and look out for the rest of the series. I'm gonna catch you lot later, man. Peace. First off, I just want to start off by you know, saying thank you for your time again. And I just, you know, first question I'd like to ask is, how did you first really get involved with hip hop as a whole? Like, what put you on to hip hop as a whole?
I put myself onto hip hop, mate, because there basically wasn't a fucking any way to get at any sort of decent hip hop in Scotland. The only way you heard hip hop in Scotland was on the radio, and anything on the radio wasn't really the proper hip hop. It was just like the commercial shit. So I got into, like, back then, just the few commercial things that I did hear on the radio. It was like Biggie and Tupac and Fugees and shit. And I just started trying to write raps, but I didn't even know there was British people who rapped or anything, mate. So, like, my initial raps, I was just like fucking living vicariously and rapping about fucking guns and drugs and that in an American accent, no less. But it's just because I wasn't even a rapper then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just impersonating rappers because I like rap.
Okay.
But yeah, it was very limited, and then it was a huge, like, shock to my system when I became a big fan of rap. I dug deeper, obviously, first in the American scene, and I found artists like Big L and Cannabis and fucking Rakim and people like that. And then obviously I found out about British hip hop as well, so the whole thing changed. So I was like, oh shit, I can actually just rap and do and write what I want and be myself and that. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you mentioned quite a few big names. One of my favorites of all time is Big L. I mean, I think he was just incredibly, you know, intuitive and creative with his bars. I thought he was a one of a kind, and you know, it's a shame that he went out like he did.
Yeah, definitely, man. Big L was same with me, mate. Top 5 dead or alive, Big L.
Most definitely. Do you have any notable influences on people that have affected the way that you actually rap today? So the reason you rap like you do?
Well, everyone would like to say no to that, innit? But there's always, the truth is, yeah, artists like Big L, artists like Cannabis, early Cannabis material, things like that. Because you know what it was? It was I always liked hip hop, so they were the first people that I listened to that made me be like, oh shit, that's so fucking clever. Fuck. And that's like like if you watched a comedy for the first time and laughed, and then if you were inclined to be a fucking stand-up comedian, you'd think, oh, I want to make people have that feeling too, innit? And it was just the same for me with writing what I deemed a sick bar. I just, like, so yeah, anybody that had sick bars was a direct influence, I guess, to me to wanna write sick bars.
I've, you know, been watching you for years, you know, courtesy of YouTube. I mean, it's helped so many people, you know, push themselves out there and get people known about you. And there are so many videos of you freestyling here, there, everywhere, just all around the place. What makes you so good at being able to freestyle? Because you can freestyle, you know, you're one of those people that can actually freestyle. A lot of people use the word freestyle now and then, but I mean, time and time again you've proven that you have the ability to freestyle. How did you sort of master your art, and how did you get so good?
There was a couple little stages of improvement, because I remember I was always interested in freestyling, because I was lucky enough to hear Juice versus Supernatural. Do you know that battle?
Yeah, yeah.
And that always got me interested in that side or MCing. And but I didn't understand how it was possible at the time, like actually for your brain to do that. And so I just started trying to freestyle. And I remember one of my friends, Chris, when I was like 17, he was like, "You shit, mate. You fucking shit, mate." But luckily I never stopped, didn't it? I just kept doing it all the time, mate. And then, but that sort of helped in a different way, because I think one of the main barriers people have with transcending into being alright or a bit hockey-jockey to being fluent or sick is just not caring what the people in the direct room are going to think about what you're going to say next, because that fucks up your thought process the second you worry, because obviously it's a freestyle, so say there's a camera on you or something, or you're in a room with a lot of people paying attention. If you fuck with yourself and you're like, oh, what if the next thing I say is shit and no one likes it, then you fuck up your ability to think of something that isn't shit. So the second I stopped caring about what anybody thought about what I was going to say next, it just almost like unlocked a huge window of time in my thought process that was previously otherwise occupied with second guessing myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that.
And then it's just like the more and more you do it, there is literally only so many words, phrases, names of towns, celebrities, people, food products and fucking companies and shit in the world. And I genuinely believe I've been through all of them multiple times, just freestyling or writing raps in general, you know what I mean? I've thought of so many different words that rhyme with one another and that, and even though consciously you can't always remember, like in my head over time you sort of just, it's not even like cheating, it's not pre-writing or nothing, but just over time you sort of remember what rhymes with what. So even though when I'm freestyling I've not got the lines pre-written, I've got a set of words straight away that I know all are gonna rhyme with that, and then I can just freestyle the new ideas I have around, you know, the words I know rhyme with each other sort of thing. And then the other thing is just figuring out little formulas in your head to keep yourself like professional. Even when I first did battles I didn't understand that part, and I was having maybe a sick line when I first came in, and then like 6 bars of just filler freestyles, and then another decent line, and then maybe some more filler till the end of the round. And it's just over time being militant with that. I need to cram it with punchlines. I need to try and think of at least 2 or 3 flips before each round starts. I need to think of some things about him, and I need to drill all these lines into my head so they don't fall out of it before my verse starts. It's just a sort of quick memory game in that little time window you used to get while your opponent was rapping still, to sort of build it in a little way, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain properly. I don't know if I've explained that correctly.
No, it's alright. I understand that, you know, it's sort of a memory game sort of thing. You train your brain to be able to come up with something that will actually connect with what you previously said. It's a real quick process, and for me it just amazes me when I see people that are able to freestyle flawlessly, like on the spot, you know, and I can imagine it takes a great deal of training to be able to do that. So
yeah, but like for instance, like see, before the World Rap Championships I took part in for the Jumpoff, I don't know if
2006, yeah, 2006.
Yeah. Well, for 3 months, every single day before that, me, What's His Face, Possessed and Stig were in a living room for about 6 hours daily, tearing each other apart with freestyle battles, going like 4 bars for 4 bars, and people were just jumping in. Possessed would jump in and diss Stig and Rain would jump in and diss me, I would jump in and diss Stig would jump in and diss Rain and Possessed, and it just went all the way around like that, non-stop for hours, every day. So by the time the WRC came, we were like fucking the SAS compared to people that had just started boot camp in the preparation we put in. Like literally, and that is, mate, it's just practice. It showed on that day, I think, that we'd out practiced everybody, I think.
2006 WRCs where you and Stig teamed up. I'd have to say that you and Stig and what's his face and Possessed were definitely the two standouts from there. I mean, there were people there that could, freestyle and they could battle, but the teamwork between you and Stig was something that I noticed that was out of this world. Like, you had great connection, and now it makes sense. You saying that you guys used to practice beforehand for months, practicing just spitting bars at each other and trying to piece stuff together through practice. So it makes perfect sense.
It's not even piecing stuff together through practice. We never reused lines. In fact, I attribute that to why I did so badly against Possessed and What's His Face, because I was remembering shit I'd been saying to them over the last 3 months, but I'm like, I can't say that again, though. You know what I mean? It was all freestyle. It wasn't like a process of piecing together good ideas in that respect. It was just literally sharpening the rebuttals, sharpening how to. Right, so say you're not in a position where you get any rebuttals yet. That's an easy opportunity to come with some stale shit, and it was like a good. Just trained you to like think that way and be like, okay, I'm not getting any rebuttals, I have to start, right? So I need to get at least 3 sick punchlines that aren't rebuttals, like in 30 seconds. Even if it's something that's throwaway, it has to be something. And it just made you, it just raised the consistency, mate. Especially battling those 3 particular people every day. It's like a shark tank. You either get eaten or you're one of the sharks. So it's a good. It was a good set of people to have the opportunity to be practicing with as well.
Yeah, amazing guys to be practicing with. Seeing as we're on the topic of it now, I'd like to find out more about your background in battling. How did you first start to get into battles? What motivated you to go for battles?
Well, when I was like coming up as an MC and like going to hip hop gigs and getting in cyphers outside and shit like that, I'd already battled a few of my friends just fucking about, just like being drunk, having fun. Okay. But obviously the people I was battling wasn't taking being an MC serious, and I was taking being an MC serious. So when I would read about battle competitions, I would go out of my way to try and travel to that location and enter the tournament. And it was always tournaments back then, like either 8-man or 16-man, generally battle tournaments were half-minute to minute rounds, and that was just the format for years and years and years in most battles. And I used to just actively like seek out tournaments and that and try and win them. Just because I wanted to be a good MC, there was no other motivation. Like, I just wanted to be a sick MC. And be seen by my peers as a sick MC.
Alright, so do you recommend freestyling as a sort of form of brain training?
Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. It's the verbal equivalent of being a martial artist physically. It just prepares your brain. For instance, like I'm not saying you can use it as a tool to trick people or nothing, but see if like someone's giving you a harsh debate, it trains like that quick comeback to people talking shit to you side of your brain. It's a very good, just generally fucking defense mechanism to have going through your life verbally, you know what I mean? It trains you to be very sharp and on the ball verbally, I think, in every area, not just like MCing.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think it makes you a bit more quick to react to certain situations, whether it's a war with words or a war of wit. I definitely think that freestyling gives you that edge, over someone that's a bit more stale, especially when it comes to their rhyming type. So talking of martial arts, I see that you put up a lot of bag exercises where you're beating up your little punch bag, which is standing up in a gym somewhere. How did you sort of What motivated you to really take up martial arts, or what? How did that start?
Oh right, well I've been doing martial arts longer than I've been rapping, mate. I had my first black belt in Lalgar kickboxing when I was like 16, and I got a red sash in Master Skin Muay Thai kickboxing as well, which is a black belt equivalent. Yeah, so I've just always done martial arts, but then there was years where I just didn't train anymore, and like I could still sort of do stuff, but the technicality to it sort of dwindled over the years I never trained. And then there was a couple years where I was sparring all the time. I had access to a lot of people I could spar with, quite heavy contact, which is good. And then there was another period where I was unable to do it for a while, and then just recently I decided to fucking absolutely cane it because it was pissing me off. I was losing my technique, so over the course of the last year I've literally almost been in the gym every day. Yeah man, just to get the technique back.
That's cool. That's cool to find out, you know, because I'm subbed to your channel and I've been watching your videos for quite a few years now, with you punching up your bag and stuff and showing your different techniques. Have you ever had to use it in a defensive manner before, or is it just a great backup to have in case any shit goes down?
In a street fight, as a principle, I've never actually tried to bust a head kick yet. Funnily enough, one time in London I actually push kicked the guy in the chest when I was walking home at 3 a.m. And to this day I don't know if it was my own paranoia or not, because I was walking down a long straight street and he was on the other side of the road, like further up, and he was like wobbling about like he was half cut, like he was drunk or something. But he crossed the road like 30 meters before he came up to me. He crossed the road onto my side and he asked me for a cigarette, and I said no, and I tried to walk past him and he put his hand on my chest and like held me back, and I was so paranoid because it was like 2:30 in fucking Finsbury Park in London. So I just kicked him in the chest and ran up the street, mate. But then when I got to the top of the street I looked back and he was still on his hands and knees, and he just sort of like sat up on his knees and held his hands in the air like, what the fuck was that for? So I still don't know if I just pranged out or not, but he never got knocked out enough and it wasn't too bad. But yeah, that's the only time I've done a kick. But yeah, punching and defense and all that, it's excellent for any altercations you get.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I might have to take up some martial arts of some sort just to help me out in the streets.
I highly recommend it, mate. How old are you, man?
I'm only 20.
And how tall are you?
5'10" right now.
5'10".
Yeah.
That you would be good at inside boxing then, I'm guessing.
I haven't ever tried anything as such. I've just if I've ever been gym, it's just for muscle building and stamina. Really, it hasn't been about trying to trade in learn my trade in the martial arts though.
Yeah. And are you like thick or thin for 5'10"?
I'm like pretty skinny.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. Boxing would be good for your body type for sure, mate.
Great.
Yeah, man.
Thanks. I'll take that up. You know, I'll take this as a real good compliment. You know, that I'll probably be good at boxing. That sounds good. That sounds great.
No, I'm telling you, mate. There's a style that fits every shape and size of person, and it's just different people are more suited for different styles of martial arts. I'm a tall, lanky motherfucker, so kickboxing is perfect for my body build. But I would be terrible at wrestling because wrestling's all about controlling the center of gravity, which is the hips. Yeah. And because I'm a tall bastard, my hips are high off the ground, so I just get thrown about by them guys or judo people or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, man.
Alright, so I want to move on to Jumpoff. Talking about Jumpoff now, a lot of people will probably most likely know you for your work with Jumpoff. How did you sort of get involved with Jumpoff in the beginning, if you remember?
Yeah, Jumpoff were doing a tour. Like they must have got almost like right. The streets were touring around UK, and you know how sometimes when a big act tours, they bring their opening acts round the whole tour with them.
Yeah.
instead of just getting local opening acts and shit. Well, the Jumpoff must have got themselves booked as one of the opening acts on the Streets tour of the UK, and they used that as an opportunity to like pitch it as like a UK, like the London Champions touring everywhere. There's a little tournament locally, and then the winner of the tournament gets to battle the champion from London who's touring around, right? So they came to Glasgow and they were there for 2 days, and they held tournaments on both days, and I entered on both days, and they were basing it on crowd response, and I got put out on both days, in the semi-final on the first day and in the final on the second day. So I never even got to battle the champion, who was Professor Green, a guy called BJ, aka Damaged Goods, won on the first day. He beat Professor Green, and then on the second day, he beat, I think he might have beat me in the final, and then he went down to London as like the new champion and that. And you know the Jumpoff weren't happy about that, because like they like to build their champions as well. Guess they were kind of expecting Pro Green just to go around everywhere train wrecking everybody. Yeah, they shot themselves in the foot basing it on crowd response, because Scottish people are very patriotic, especially like when it's not a respectable small hip hop crowd who will show visiting MCs respect. It was just a bunch of dumb drunk cunts who went to watch the Streets. You know what I mean? So yeah, but that was when I first met Jumpoff. But then I got a phone call from them, and they were like, they remembered me from that, and they were like, we're now doing a proper UK tour. We're bringing our 2 champions around for street battles. And I was like, what do you mean street battles? Obviously I'd battled in the street, but this was the first time they were, you know, doing the sort of format for it.
Okay. And
it sounded sick, mate. So yeah, I agreed to be one of the 2 MCs, and the 2 champions who toured up to Glasgow were Stig and Mike Assassin.
Yep.
And I ended up battling Stig, and then from that they must have liked my performance, and they remembered me and invited me down to London for Spin the Mic tournament, which was my first battle in London.
Spin the Mic,
yeah. And then from there I just so happened to be near London at the time, because I was working as a hype man for the MC Blade, a legendary UK hip hop artist. And so I was in the area, and that was the same time they had their 2005 battle league, and I just started showing up weekly doing these league battles. That's the one title I have to my name, and I wasn't even ever officially announced it, but I'm actually the 2005 league champion for the Jumpoff. I do actually have a title.
That's amazing. I'm not surprised though, because I mean you went through so many people in the Jumpoff street battles. You went through like guys like Archaic, you went through Ezra, Coolez, you went through What's His Face, you know, you went through Spit Semis. Like there's so many people that you just rolled up and balled to the side. Archaic was one of those battles which kind of got me, because to this day still I don't really believe that you truly lost that battle.
Well, I've actually spoken to Archaic about that battle. Archaic's opinions changed over the years. I forget what he said when it just happened, but then one time I said to him, like, you know you lost that battle, innit? And he was like, yeah, probably. And then the last time I asked him, I think he was talking about he thought he did better in the punchline rounds or something. But you know what it is, mate? Like I said previous, the Jumpoff ain't necessarily the most hip-hop headish, but they definitely at least have a basic grasp of good business, and they understand how to attempt at least to build up financial properties. Professor Green was their first successful built up financial property, and at the time there was a certain buzz about Archaic, and I'm going to straight up say it, yeah, I think certain people within the Jumpoff looked down on the idea of this Scottish person being like the number one guy at the time. So yeah, I think there was a bit of dodginess with the judging decision in that battle, due to the judges being Harry Ara, the 2 owners of the Jumpoff, and Scars, the other guy who was basically, you know, the third man. So yeah, and I think Archaic was the guy at the time they were trying to build up, is what I think. But I also agree with you that I think I don't see that battle as a loss, personally.
Yeah, I mean,
But I would like to say as a disclaimer, I could be completely wrong. I'm biased as fuck because it's me, and I'm very competitive. We could probably talk about every single one of my battle losses, and I will sit here and tell you sequentially why the fuck I did not lose the battle. So, yeah.
so what other battles did you lose in Jumpoff?
Fucking none of them, mate. Not, what did I lose? I lost Possessed and What's His Face twice in the 2005
Yeah, okay.
battle league, and the Archaic battle, and the Spin the Mic final against What's His Face.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can't forget that one.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I think you had extremely. I think your ability to just come up with rebuttals was something that left you way ahead of the pack, because I don't think that was something that the people which you were battling really, you know, considered beforehand. Like battles against, you know, people like Spit Semis, Coolers and Ezra, where you've had amazing rebuttals that you used at the beginning of your round that really catapulted the atmosphere around you to be favorable to you. I think you were really ahead of the game in terms of using rebuttals as a big form of, you know, getting a crowd reaction. Was that also due to having, you know, practiced against other people and just coming back with quick witty retorts? I mean, how did your ability to rebuttal become so, you know, so, I mean, right now it's a you know, it's a given that people have to really, it's looked upon that people should rebuttal in battles. Like, how did you, you know, first really, you know, get that level of rebuttal ability?
Well, again, like, see Juice and Supernatural, there's rebuttals in that. Juice has got some sick rebuttals to Supernatural doing voices and shit like that. So even old school battles, I used to love rebuttals personally. And if you cipher a lot, or you freestyle with your fellow MCs, there's different ways you can do it. Someone could be just like freestyling about life, someone could come in and talk about how sick they are, or you could be all on the same page. And if you're all on the same page, it's something more than just showing each other your rhyming ability. It turns into a game which improves it. And what I mean by that is, so that guy's rapping about that, instead of me just coming in and trying to freestyle about some other shit, why not listen to what he's saying and try and continue it, or get another bar out of the same thing he's talking about or something to show continuation. And so that's something you do in a cipher. It's not exactly the same as a rebuttal, but when you get that habit of grabbing a subject matter that someone's just said and getting a new idea out of it, it makes thinking up a comeback easy.
Okay. Alright, yeah. I understand that. Makes sense. I mean, one of the things which I've been dying to try and talk to you about is the WRCs of 2006. Now, you and Stig were, as I mentioned already, one of the best teams throughout all the countries that were competing in the WRCs. I want to know, what was it like doing so many battles and not being able to make it out to the States?
Well, I was over the States thing already, to be honest, because you know what, after Spin the Mic, the Jumpoff phoned me and they were like, yeah, we're not really sure if you should have lost that Spin the Mic, so we want to offer you the opportunity to travel to America with What's His Face and compete in the Spin the Mic US. And they offered to pay for my flight and all of that, you know, the whole thing. The only thing I wouldn't have got is the prize money from Spin the Mic. And I was like, that sounds sick, let me just check it's cool with What's His Face, because it's kind of like, you know, he won the thing and that. And What's His Face was like, you know what, it's meant to be my moment and that, I would rather you didn't. And because I'm cool with What's His Face, I actually turned down the opportunity to go to the States then, because I had my boys back, and that's what he said, so I didn't do it. And yeah, so it's whatever, mate. By that point I was like whatever anyway. So yeah, all the battles is just, I don't even think about the big picture, mate, at the time. I'm just so competitive. As soon as the battle starts, I just want to think of the best lines I can, come up with the best comebacks I can, and be the best MC I can. It's not about the prizes or the trips to America or nothing. And it still isn't, even though nowadays I would prefer to be paid when I battle. That's just a matter of fucking respect, really.
Learning from that, you've moved onwards, and you went on a bit of a hiatus from battling, and you managed to have a lot of great comebacks. I mean, you came back on Don't Flop against Immaculate, and Immaculate is one of my favorite. He's great with freestyling as well. He is world revered. What was it like to get the opportunity to battle someone with the caliber of Immaculate?
Yeah, that's literally what I was waiting for, mate. For a couple years, I don't know if you remember this, but like, I was set to battle the Solace up until the day of the battle. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he got stopped at customs because he said he was there on business and he didn't have a visa. So yeah, so I was just waiting for someone of that caliber, man. And obviously, from my era, the two best MCs that people rated, and I rated myself, obviously, were the Solace and Immaculate. So either one of them, I was more than happy to do another battle for, obviously, man.
Alright, so after that battle, I think you battled Zayn Azra. How did that battle come about?
That battle came about, like, I'd been talking for a while about doing another battle, and basically I was talking with Chronicle for a while about an opponent, and then all of a sudden he came back. I'd really like to battle Tenshu, mate, but Tenshu wasn't on it. But for the longest time, Chronicle was trying to set up me and Tenshu, because Tenshu's another guy. As a person who can actually freestyle,
definitely,
I can tell he can actually freestyle. And as a competitive person who likes to think, on my day I could give anybody a run for their money with freestyling, I just would have liked to have done that for that reason. And yeah, but anyways, then one day he came back and he was like, yeah, this guy wants to battle you, and he said he'll pay you as well. So I was interested. Like, at that point, I'd been getting a bit fucking, I don't know what the word is, mate. I was just like, at that point, I was just ready to battle, and me and Chronicle had been trying to get a specific opponent for so long. I was just like, whatever, this guy's offering a bit of money. I don't really know who he is, but fair enough, because the money was decent, and I wanted to battle again anyway. And yeah, it didn't really matter who it was. So why not it be someone who I didn't know, because it wouldn't have made a difference at that point. So yeah, I just decided to do it, mate.
Ah, okay. Alright, so, Don't Flop has become the UK's pretty much premier battle league. How are you with, the developments of Don't Flop? Are you believing that Don't Flop has done great things and will continue to do great things? What's your stance on Don't Flop at the moment?
Well, I'm cool with again, after us having a little dispute for a while after the Zayn Azrai battle. And I don't know, mate, I don't want to sound like a hater, but at the same time, I'm proper from a different era where hip-hop was about all aspects of the culture, and I don't think it's upholding its representation necessarily to the actual culture in general, but it's a great form of entertainment. It's just transcending what battling used to be about, mate. It's just something different now. But yeah, it's good. I still watch the things people recommend to me, and the shit makes me laugh, but I just don't see it as MCs. Most of the people, there's still MCs that compete and don't flop, but yeah, most of the people I don't think are MCs.
Yeah.
They're just people battling, innit?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that one. So what would you prefer? Would you prefer times to go back to when street battles were popping, or do you prefer stage battles? Because personally, I love the grittiness and just the rawness of people just battling in the street, you know, on a corner somewhere with like 5 people around and the camera and just spitting bars for a few minutes each way. And I prefer that over the stage battles. What do you prefer?
Oh, in a perfect world, I would have a mixture, mate, because the thing I miss is freestyling to beats, and that's probably the hardest thing to do. It's a lot easier to freestyle with no beat than it is to still freestyle in rhythm and keep a flow going and shit, and think of clever lines. That's like the hardest one to do. So I actually miss beat battles. So yeah, which I don't know if you could really pull off in a street battle environment, but a perfect mixture would be a street battle environment with a beat playing, I guess. Because see what? As a fan of hip hop, sometimes the beat will actually take you up a level.
Yeah.
If like a sick beat drops and you're already in like fucking kill mode, and then a sick beat drops. Just me personally.
No, I definitely agree with that. I mean, because sometimes, you know, if you hear something like 10 Crack Commandments, that instrumental come on, or if you hear something else that is just pure hip-hop in the essence, it'll put you in the mood to be able to freestyle, you know. I mean, a lot of the beats that are coming out with modern day rap and hip-hop such and such, I don't think you could really use that for freestyle abilities to be displayed on, you know. But yeah, what is your take on modern day hip-hop? Now, what do you think it's good? Do you see if there's anything missing? If so, what is your opinion on it?
I think it's when it just depends on what you mean by that, because so many types of hip hop still exist. But if you're talking about like hip hop on the radio, it's just a slight variation of the shit 10 years ago. If you're talking about the hip hop that like is just below that, the ones that are getting shitloads of YouTube views, it's like this new weird branch off of hip hop with a lot of intertwined cultures, like a little bit of hipster and a little bit of emo. It's this weird sort of kind of hip hop. It's all good, mate. It is just the nature of how things work, man. Everything starts as something, then branches off into 4 different fucking things. Like we were talking about martial arts before. Fighting started out as people just pushing each other's eyeballs into their fucking heads and rolling around on the ground. You know what I mean? But then I guess that branched off into one guy liked to punch, one guy liked to wrestle. Then that branched into judo and wrestling and boxing and kickboxing. It's just how it is. Same with every music genre, and there'll always be new little like, so you could call that hip hop, but hip hop to me is something a little bit different than that. Like just musically, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like something new.
All right, so you don't agree with the notion that hip hop is dead?
Well, it's not the same as it was, but that doesn't mean it's dead, I suppose. But it just depends on what hip hop is to you. If hip hop to you could be dead. Like hip hop to me is like, see, some people need to be motivated, for instance, by this phrase people used to utter all the time in the 2000s, the scene, right? The hip hop scene. And I know personally rappers that get demotivated when they see a deterioration in their local scene, right? But I think even if you were sitting in a cave somewhere, I would be rapping. So it's just depends on what motivates you, mate. Like, but yeah, it's changed a little bit, that's for sure.
Alright, okay. So, you know, I mean, another thing that I've really always liked about your style in battling is that, you know, regardless of you, you know, being a minority in battle rapping. I'm not sure of many people from Scotland that have really become as well known as you in the battling field. Is the fact that, you know, regardless of who you were battling, regardless of where it was, regardless of the weather conditions or anything, you're always on your game. I mean, did you ever get nervous before battles? Did you ever feel under pressure or anything? I mean, how did you control yourself before getting into that battle environment?
That's a good question. Yeah, I do feel nervous, but nerves don't really fuck me up. You know what I mean? I would be... they just don't fuck me up, mate. They make me perform better, I guess. But I did get nervous. I remember when I went to do Spin the Mic, my girlfriend at the time was arguing with me, and last thing she said before I went out the door was, "I hope you fucking lose," right? And so see, when the mic landed on me in the first round, I was so stubborn about the fact she was such a cunt. I was just thinking in my head, I'm not going out in the first fucking round. I'm not going out in the first fucking round. That's for damn sure. Like, it was just stubbornness, mate. Stubbornness overcame the nerves in that situation. Just depends, innit?
Yeah, okay, that's cool. I understand that. I understand how you know that effect might have been able to affect you. Do you prefer writing for battles, or do you prefer coming off the top?
No, I much preferred back when it was freestyle battles.
I agree, because I think, you know, anyone can really write bars, but for someone to be able to come up with good enough material on the spot there and then, I think it's a much tougher skill to be able to do.
Yeah, the proof is in the field of competitors, mate. There was only less than 100 people of a certain level in the entire world who spoke the English language who could freestyle of a certain ability, in my opinion, back when freestyling was a thing. And the field of written battlers is in the thousands all over the place, with decently consistent material, because, you know, you get 2 months to write, and then this modern weird thing of like collaborative writing, which seems to be common. You know what I mean? A lot of people can be consistent, but it's real hard to do that freestyling, mate. Especially with the pressure and everything, like the cameras on you and everything. If you fuck up, you are fucked up forever. On their website, on YouTube, that is your promotion. Your promotion is now you fucking up. People say like, nowadays battling's good for promotion, and back then battling was good for promotion too, but it was so fucked up because, yeah, you were battling to be promoted, but if you were one of the unfortunate MCs who did something embarrassing because they were freestyling, then it completely had the adverse effect and fucked you for it, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So it was a huge tightrope walk. Like, it just took balls to even compete, I suppose, back then. And nowadays it's a lot more lax because you get that comfort zone of just sitting there writing all your shit.
Obviously, you are someone that has proven the notion that battle rappers can't make good songs wrong. You've brought out lots and lots of projects and albums over the years. Secrecy Act, for example. You brought out a lot of stuff. Did you, when you first started battling, did you really get a good buzz and a good load of promotion from it? And do you think that has helped you with your music battling?
Somewhat. Yeah, it definitely helped with promotion, definitely. But only a small percentage of that actually translate back to the music, unfortunately. You'd like at least 8 out of 10 people aren't saying looking forward to your next album, they're saying when are you gonna battle next. So it's kind of weird because I love making music and shit, but at least 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 of my fan base are actually fans of me as a battle rapper first, and as a person that makes music second.
Would you be, if by some magical occurrence, would you be open to entering a Scribble Jam tournament if they came back?
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. That's one thing I always wanted to do, was a Scribble Jam tournament.
Scribble Jam for me was something that also opened my eyes up to a lot of battlers. You know, that's the first place where I really saw people like No Can Do, Thesaurus, Iron Solomon, Justice, you know, Elmac. You know, there's a lot of people that, you know, came through the Scribble Jam and became extremely well known from that. And you know, I sort of looked up to Scribble Jam as, you know, it's definitely one of the, you know, the four founders of the modern day battling scene.
Yeah, me too, mate. 100% agree with that.
So,
Big up Kevin Beecham. I believe it was Kevin Beecham who was organising that.
No.
Yeah, you know they did that thing though. They did have UK qualifiers for it 1 year.
oh, they did.
Yeah, Kool-Aid's won the tournament.
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
Yes, the thing was, as a crew, obviously at the time was the Freestyle Masons, was me, Stig, What's His Face, and Possess, and we just like had so much respect for each other at the time. It's not just like, oh, you won't battle your mate. It's not that. It's not that. It's, oh, you won't take your opportunity away from your mate. And no, I won't. You know what I mean? It's not that I've got a thing against battling my mates. I'm not going to battle my mates at the expense of me taking something away from them. You know what I mean? And obviously in a tournament as a prize, and so we decided just one of us would enter, and Stig entered. Yeah, Stig got beat by, I think, Saint, innit?
Yep, Saint.
Yeah. And I remember me and Possessed turning around and going, ah, fuck, we should have entered, man.
Oh man, yeah. Okay.
I thought Stig had the tournament in the bag, obviously. So
Yeah, I mean, Rhyme Asylum is another, you know, great, you know, UK collective. Freestyle Masons was one as well, you know. I remember the big buzz around Freestyle Masons because it had four of the people who, you know, had really lit up battling in the UK and, you know, had really put the UK on the map. What's going on with Freestyle Masons? Will we ever see another Freestyle Masons project?
Nah, that's not gonna happen. There was actually a time when a label approached us and asked us about putting out a Freestyle Masons project, and they also booked us for a gig. It's the one gig we ever did as like the four of us, the Freestyle Masons, and we actually just had 40 minutes of beats and we freestyled, just went and freestyled on stage back and forth for the whole 40-minute set.
Wow.
Yeah, that was in Manchester, but nah, there won't be anything, unfortunately.
That's a shame, you know. That's a shame. How did you guys come up with the idea of Freestyle Masons anyway? Who wanted to put you guys together?
It was just a thing of like, at the time we were already freestyling every day and like hooking up just to battle one another and shit. And I don't know, man. It was just a little moniker to give the four of us at the time something to go by. And also to promote the four of us in a single phrase at the time, you know what I mean? We hadn't even planned to like make music or do the things you would traditionally associate a crew with. We were just like a crew of people who battled, but we were like a little battle crew. We saw everyone else as their opponents, and we saw each other as sparring partners.
Okay, alright. I like that idea, you know, I like that idea. Do you watch battles frequently nowadays?
Not so much. I've got a lot of friends who always recommend me specific battles. So like, I catch up on the like events that happen in battle rap. I saw Disaster Punch Math and shit like that, you know what I mean? But I don't watch every battle nowadays. No, it's just a bit different, man. It's just a bit different.
I mean, I think it's harder to keep up with the amount of battles that are coming out now, you know. Don't Flop, you know, URL, KOTD, UW, all of these guys are bringing out battles so frequently it's hard to keep on top of them all, you know.
Definitely. Yeah, all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. There is more battle leagues than I can even remember.
That's true. I mean, it's a worldwide thing now. You know, Australia and South Africa, Sweden, Holland, they've got battle leagues all over the place. So it's really, really blown up. You know, it's blown up as a big thing. Have you heard about, or did you hear about the Ether event that went down in December 2014?
Is that the Total Slaughter thing?
No, the Total Slaughter was, I think that was the year before that. The Ether event was Disaster Cassidy was the main headline for that one.
I actually saw the Disaster Cassidy battle, but I haven't read any comment about it or anything like that. I just literally saw that battle was online one day. I checked it, and then that's it. I don't read the discussion about it, if you know what I mean.
Alright. Well, it was reported that there was over $1 million put into the investment of that one event. How do you feel about battling on such a big monetary scale with people getting hundreds of thousands of dollars? I mean, Cassie was reported to be getting $250,000 just for that one battle. How do you feel about the way that battling has developed, and you know how it's become an incredibly big thing with sponsors left, right, and center queuing up? How do you feel about battling from the days when you used to battle for 20 quid on Jumpoff Street battles?
Well, I just wish obviously we had all them sponsors and money involved back then. Maybe I'd be a bit better off financially. Them 20 quids were still good at the time though, don't get it twisted, but yeah, it would have been better to be battling for something a bit more substantial than £20. But no, it's good, man, it's good. There's nothing but good comes of that, and it was natural because it's a great form of entertainment, great forms of entertainment which is accessible to everyone, and you don't have to like hip hop to like battles, so it's accessible to anybody who understands the English language or whatever country the battle league is in. And yeah, so it was natural that it would get a good amount of viewers if people just kept at it, and picked up where Jumpoff left off and treated the MCs better than Jumpoff did, and more importantly, say what you want about but at least he started as a huge fan of it, so he actually does, or at least definitely did, love it, you know what I mean, which I do not believe the owners of the Jumpoff did, personally.
Yeah, I can get that feeling, you know, because Jumpoff, I remember when they used to host them really big events in London where they'd have the massive crowds and they would have the people on stage and stuff, and then, you know, it didn't seem like it was as inclusive as, you know, Don't Flop is now. Like, Don't Flop allows people who have different styles of, you know, writing rhymes and, you know, presenting themselves to battle. And you know, do you think that is great that battling is opening up more and is not just, you know, a thing for hardcore people anymore? Do you think it's good for people that, you know, have a soft understanding to be able to jump in and, you know, enjoy the spoils of the entertainment?
No, I guess it's all good. It's all good. I'm not gonna sit here and be stubborn about it and think, oh no, only hip hop MCs should compete in that. That's the way it's changed. Nothing's gonna change that. Fair enough. And a lot of the people who aren't necessarily hip hop MCs and that are still funny and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's just a bit different. It's just not quite hip hop what they do, but it's cool.
I really enjoyed interviewing you. There's just a few things that I want to ask of you. Who would you say, although I know you say that you don't look at battling as much as you did before, who would you say is on top of the game right now in battling?
Oh, on top of the game? Fucking hell. Well, I'm not sure. Like, as far as I am up to date, is Tony D still the Don't Flop champion?
I'm not certain, actually. That's a good shout out.
No.
We should have to check, but
I guess the champion's on top of the game, surely. So, and obviously Shorty Horror, and I know people were looking forward to that Shorty Horror Tony D battle for a long time, and obviously Disaster is just, his work rate is unmatched really in America. He just battles constantly at a high level. You gotta respect that.
That's great. It's great. You know, the UK scene, especially for battling, is something that's still continuing to grow. I mean, you're seeing in the audience, you know, a vast array of different kinds of people. You know, it's not all just one style of dudes with fitted caps and dirty hoodies, etc., etc. And it's bringing in a lot more people than it did before. Do you think that in the future, battling will have, so to say, its own TV channels and stuff like that? Do you think it will get to that stage where it will be as big as certain forms of music? It will have, where do you see battling going?
Oh, that's a good question, man. Who knows? It just depends, mate. I thought for a long time it would be so easy to turn it into like a 45-minute TV show or something like that. And Jumpoff did try and experiment with that. They sold a bunch of street battles to Channel U, and Channel U used to air them like in little portions in between the music videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be so easy to turn it into a TV series or something like that and just air battles and shit like that. Like, they already had that in America.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be, man. It could end up having its own TV channels. You never know. But that's kind of a dead game nowadays, anyway, because of the internet. So it'll probably all be online nowadays, I guess. So yeah, there won't be maybe TV channels and stuff like that for it, but there technically already is with the YouTube channels and stuff like that. It's just the same thing nowadays. Me personally, I don't even watch television anymore, mate. Anything I watch, I just see on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, same here, pretty much. The inclusion of pay-per-views as well. For a long time, pay-per-views was something that was associated with, a football match or a boxing match, and now to see that battling has a pay-per-view set up for most events now, or big events. I mean, would you have loved to have taken part in a pay-per-view event?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, that would have been awesome. And it's cool that they have that nowadays, because obviously that facilitates things like being able to pay someone $250,000. Like, I'm sure that wouldn't have been able to be hooked up so casually if it wasn't for people buying pay-per-view, because pay-per-view is obviously good money if you get a decent viewership.
Cool. So, in terms of your future, what upcoming projects do you have musically, and where do you see yourself going?
Well, I had an album. Well, I have had an album, like 10 tracks finished, and then all the files were destroyed on a particular hard drive, unfortunately. So I had to sort of restart it. So I've still got about 6 or 7 songs managed to recover from it, but I've lost all the raw files. So that was a bit of a motherfucker, but hopefully I'll have that project finished this year. And as for battling, nowadays I'm just looking like, if something decent opportunity-wise arose, I will be more than happy to do it again. I still freestyle regularly. I still think I'm very sharp with my freestyle ability. Obviously, that's not even a necessary tool in battling today. But yeah, I still love battling, just fucking about, like starting to freestyle battle my friends and my fellow MCs and shit. But who knows with battling? It just depends on the opportunity. And where do I see myself? I'm happy with where I am. If you mean as an MC, all I ever wanted to do as an MC was be seen as a good lyricist by my peers, and just write sick bars or good bars, make good songs and shit. So I'm happy with what I've done, and wherever I go is fair enough. Whatever happens is fair enough, whether it's nothing or something.
Alright. So, do you have a place where people can go now to check out projects that you've brought out, or to capture some of the, former projects that you brought out? Anything? Is there like a specific place where people can head to?
Yeah, they can buy the last project I put out which is called Wasteland the Free from powercutproductions.com. That's available to purchase on that, which was the label that I put that project out with. That's their website. And yeah, so you can check that out on that. It's also fully uploaded on YouTube, as is my first project called The Secrecy Act. You can find that on YouTube also. You can see almost all of my big battles on YouTube, and you can keep up with me on Facebook if you look for Respek BA. And yeah, that's about it. And also Respek BA on Twitter, RESPEK space BA. And that's it.
Alright, great for that, man. Final question. Where did you come up with the name Respek BA?
It was just something that used to, like, BA used to stand for loads of different things, and then over time I kept changing what the BA stood for, and then over time it just sort of, I became the BA, and the BA now stands for nothing except me. It was just a random name I used to write and tag, but I literally, there's no actual origin of where it came from, except I always liked the concept getting respect and stuff, and as I said, it was like one of my goals as an MC to get respect from my peers and shit, so respect's always meant a lot to me. So yeah, that's about it.
Do you feel you've earned that respect, and do you feel people respect you enough, as much as you feel you should be?
That just depends, mate. I think some people I speak to do, some people I speak to don't. That's the way it will always be. But it's all good. Obviously, like, you can always sit there and think about the things you've done as an MC and think you could have deserved more, which is fair enough, but I'm not about to dwell on anything like that. It's all good. I'm happy with what I did. I'm happy with people seem to like it. People seem to respect me as an MC. That's enough for me. I don't need everyone to, but it was cool that some people did.
That's alright. Well, I just want to say a big thank you to you for coming through and letting me give you this interview. You know, it's for me, it's just an incredible honor to be able to interview someone which I've, you know, looked up to for a very long time. So I want to thank you for that. Being able to just give up a bit of your time, just to, you know, shed some light on a bit of the background events that kind of molded you into the guy that you are today, man.
Yeah, man. No, much appreciated, mate. It's always a pleasure to talk to someone who's a big fan of hip hop, just the same as me. Same as me.
Alright, man. So thank you very much for that. You know, it's just you know, it's pretty cool. You know, it's been a long time. You know, I've been wanting to do this for a while, and you know, to finally get to be able to do it is just great. So yeah, cheers for that, man. Cheers for that.
No problem, brother. Anytime, mate. Anytime. It's all good.
So thanks for watching that, guys. That was my interview with Respek BA. Like and share this video if you can, and you know, just let people know the word. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna catch you guys later, man. Peace.